This thing out, we expected 600 people, to be here. And I know right now we have around 1,000 to 1,100. Thursday is a slow day, okay? So it's going to get better. Just like my recovery gets better if I work it, And that's what Denise was talking about. It works if you work it, And she does do it. She's living proof. Next person we have to speak is Paul P.
Thanks, Jim. I don't know if I can follow that introduction. My name's Paul. I'm a grateful recovering addict from Indiana. And, gosh, what do you do with your hands? There's too many microphones, too. I don't want to get too much into my past because I think we're pretty much all alike there. I know the one main thing about my past is that when I was using, I hurt like a son of a bitch, and my life was unmanageable. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know who I was. I didn't fit in. And today I'm grateful for bottoms. I'm grateful I hit my bottom. I'm grateful my bottom was as bad as it was, because if it wasn't, I wouldn't be here today. When I first came to the fellowship, I started in the other fellowship. And I was in the other fellowship for about a year. And I thought I was doing pretty good. I thought I was doing real good, as a matter of fact. So good that I started getting ideas that since the drug of my choice towards the end was alcohol, that I could be a social user. And it would be okay to go out and party and have one joint, or if I stay out for coffee too late, wake up in the morning and maybe pop one speeder or whatever. And everything would be fine. And I had talked to a person about this, and he immediately jumped on my ass about it and suggested that I go to NA. And I was flabbergasted that he even suggests such a thing. I mean, I never used the needle. How could I go to NA? And I'm grateful today for that third tradition. The third tradition states the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop using. And I think that's very, very important. It's very important to remember. When I came to my first NA meeting, I was scared shitless. It seems as if that first year of dry time, and that's all I can call it, was nowhere to be found. It was as if I was going to my very first meeting, and I was going to my first NA meeting. And I almost didn't make it because I was so scared. But I'm glad I went. I found a lot of loving, caring people. A lot of people that I could associate with. People that were closer to my age, for one thing, which made me feel real good. Because I had a big denial problem in the beginning. I was too young. That was a real big cop-out for me. I was too young. Thank God for young people today. Thank God for young people. I love to see young people come in the program. But I felt very comfortable, and I heard a lot of people talking about different types of addiction, how they got there. They were talking about their past. They had a first step meeting for me. And I found out that there were a lot of people in this particular meeting who didn't use the needle too, and that made me feel very comfortable. I started feeling a lot more comfortable, and I started getting very involved in NA. And also I would like to thank God again for service work. Service work kept this junkie here dry for a long time until I was able to get sober and clean. Because for a long period of time I wasn't working the steps. For a long period of time I was going to meetings, and like a very dear friend of mine back in Indiana says, I would go to a meeting and I would sit next to a person and hope and pray to God that their clean time and their sobriety would rub off on me. And somehow or another I would get their program without working it. Because see, one of my biggest character defects, I would say, is laziness. I'm a very, very lazy person. And I love to procrastinate. Very much so. And I was able to look at that first step, and I was able to surrender, I was able to surrender to the fact that I'm an addict. I can't use today. And not if I want to live, not if I want to live. I can't use today. I was able to do that, but it was very difficult for me to move on to the other 11. I thought I had it made after taking that first step. And I found out I was very wrong. I was in a swamp for a long time. I was stagnant. I wasn't moving, but I wasn't going back. I'm the type of person, it's very difficult for me to just do one step and move on. Just like it was difficult for me to hear all these people saying, your life is falling apart, do something, when I was out there using. Even my drinking and drugging buddies were saying that. It seems like I've got to bang my head against the wall and hurt and hurt and hurt until I really want to change, until I really want to move on. I'm a son of a bitch today. I'm still stubborn. I still don't want to move on sometimes until I realize that I'm not going anywhere. And I know that if I don't grow, I'm going to go. And I don't want to go today. I like what I've got today. I've got a peace of mind today. I've got Paul today. I never had Paul before. I didn't know who Paul was. I thought Paul was that person that I saw in the mirror every morning and I hated. That's not true. I can remember a few years back when I started my fourth step, my sponsor pulled me aside and God, this is one of those moments where I really hated him. I really hated him. He pulled me aside and he goes, name 3 things that you like about yourself. And I stood there for about 5-10 minutes and didn't say a word. And finally I did say a few things. My hair is nice. I have nice clothes. I have a nice car. Things like that. All these materialistic bullshit crap. I couldn't see anything good about Paul. The hell with the outside shell. Paul is what's inside. Today I like what's inside. Today, when I do an inventory as far as the 10th step goes, I can write good things about myself. I was very confused when I did that 4th step. I thought all I was supposed to do was write a list of rotten things about myself. And you know what? I was ready to go back out there. Because that list kept getting longer and longer and longer. Because I didn't like myself. I couldn't see anything good about myself. And it took a lot of soul searching. It took a lot of meetings. It took a lot of work. For me, this program, it hasn't been easy, and it still isn't easy today. There's a lot of times I chew my nails off. There's a lot of times I have to bite my lip. There's a lot of times I have to punch the wall. There's a lot of times I scream and yell and throw dishes or whatever. But it's simple. There's a difference. Just work the steps, don't use, and go to meetings. That's how simple it is. But I like to complicate things. I think I can still fall into that pattern because I was so used to it for so many years of being miserable, that I don't deserve to feel good today. And that's wrong. That's really wrong. I'm a human being today. I am somebody. I'm a miracle, just like we're all miracles here today. And I do deserve to feel good if I want to. And the help is out there. All I have to do is reach out my hand. All I have to do is reach out my hand. And if there isn't another human being there, the telephone is always there. If the line is busy, God is always there. God is very important in my life today. I can honestly say today, which I was never able to say until I came to the program, that I love God. I was the type of person, I hated God. I wanted nothing to do with God. I not only went so far as to put God on the shelf, I threw him in the garbage can. Because I didn't like him. Because I didn't like me. I didn't like who I was, so I blamed God for it. instead of blaming me. You know, today I realize that God is there to help me. God is there to love me. And God is there to take care of me. And He will, if I ask for it. You know, God created me. You know, God made me. And I believe that anything that God makes is beautiful. And God loves His creations today. And I'm one of those creations. And there's no way that He's going to deny me help. There's no way. The way I like to look at it when I really get down in the dumps, and I read this in a book somewhere, is that look at myself as a little child and God as a father-type image. And when I'm hurting, look at myself as this little baby lying in a snowdrift, shaking and crying, and God comes walking by. You mean to tell me He wouldn't pick me up and cradle me in His arms and help me? He would have to be a total monster to deny me that help, and He isn't. God loves me today, and He will help me today, and He will help anyone today who asks for it. You know, I've learned more from this program and gained more from these few years that I've been clean than I've gained in my whole education, you know. And that's wonderful, and I owe it to every one of you people. You know, NA is my life today. You know, today I go to meetings because I have to learn how to live. Today I don't have a drug problem. Today I have a thinking problem. You know, today the problem is Paul. Today the problem isn't pot and speed and all that other garbage. Today the problem is me. You know, I'm still a little kid, you know, and it's very difficult to have the mind of a teenager in an adult body trying to grow up in the, quote, straight world out there, you know, with all them earth people out there. It's very difficult, you know, and I don't know how to do that sometimes. So I have to come to you people. You know, so the meetings are very necessary for me. In the beginning, I used the meetings sometimes as a social event. You know, I used to go to meetings to meet people, you know, to find other people to go to the movies with and so on and so forth, dates, whatever. You know, today I don't have to do that. You know, today I'm starting to get a balance in my life. Today I've got a social life. Today I've got a work life. And today I've got NA. You know, I try to practice these principles in all my affairs, but still there has to be a set time for just recovery for me as far as meetings go. You know, NA is my lifeline today. I can honestly say that NA has saved this addict's life, because I believe that if it wasn't for that one individual who talked me into going to an NA meeting, I would be either still out there using today or dead. And I thank God for phone numbers. Use them if you don't use them now. They're very important. When I first came around, I had a book full of phone numbers. And not once did I get on the telephone. Not once. I would go to meetings. If they started at 8 o'clock, I would get there at 5 minutes to 8. If the meeting ended at 9:30, I'd leave at 9:31. You know, I didn't want the people to get to know Paul. I was scared. But you know what? Today I learned that I have to let you know Paul. Because sometimes this sick mind of mine, it still plays tricks, and it hides things from me. You know? And sometimes I don't see what I'm doing to myself. But you people do. The people that know Paul. And then you can say, get up off your ass, son of a bitch. Go to a meeting. You know, you people have saved my life. I can remember a few years back, I was going through a very difficult period in my life when I was going through a divorce. And I felt very all alone. I felt very alone. You know, I had plenty of friends in NA, but I felt alone. here I was in my apartment all by myself. You know, today I realized I wasn't by myself. God was there. But I felt alone. I felt like I had nowhere to go. I felt like life wasn't worth living. And so on the coffee table was my .38. And in my pocket was a wad full of money. And I was trying to figure out whether to go out and get fucked up or end it fast. Slow death or fast death. And I'm so grateful that God is in my life today. You know, I totally believe that even if I don't talk to God, He's there. You know, that spark is still there, and that little spark that I had left was enough. It made me pick up that phone. I didn't want to pick up that phone. I wanted to be miserable. I wanted to end it. But that spark made me pick it up. God gave me another chance. And I called someone, and I cried out for help, and the help was there. We had a meeting that morning, and that meeting was for Paul. And there was a lot of crying, and there was a lot of gratitude. There was a lot of love. And I made it. I made it through another day clean and sober. And I'm alive today. And I'm grateful. You know, and sometimes it still hurts to ask for help. You know, it's hard for me to ask for help. Especially for some reason I like to take this attitude, especially in my area. It seems like there aren't too many people that have a lot of clean time. And usually when I ask for help, I have to ask for help from someone who has less time than me. Ooh. Talking about putting your pride in your pocket. Ooh, that hurts. That hurts so bad. It really does. You know, and I wish it didn't. You know, and I wish I could sit here and say, no, I don't have any problems with pride, but I do. But thank God that the hurt isn't great enough, that I know better enough, that I have to do it if I want to live. You know, I don't care how much clean time you have. 1 day or 100 years. You're a recovering addict and you got something that I can hear, and you got something that I can learn, and you got something that's going to be part of my program. I went to a meeting the other day, and I had a lot of gratitude. There were 3 newcomers there. And I have never heard 3 newcomers talk like they talked. It was beautiful. It was a miracle. It was just great. I've been to meetings where there's been people that come and they say, I'm here because of jail, and I'm here because the judge sent me, and blah, 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 blah. These 3 people were there because they wanted it. And that's great. Because there's thousands of people out there dying right this minute that need this program. But how many of them want it? And these 3 cute newcomers wanted it. And I had goosebumps. That's a message. That's a message. There's hope. There's love. And they felt it. I talked to one of them afterwards, and he said that he's going to sleep tonight for the very first time in a long time. Because he felt loved, and he felt needed, and he felt accepted. And that's beautiful. I heard a message here yesterday during the ball toss, and it was great. I don't remember what the guy's name was, and he didn't say much. He did a lot of crying. And that was a beautiful message, because that's gratitude. And gratitude is beautiful today. Today I have gratitude. Today I have goosebumps standing up here. You know, this is a world convention. And there's people from all over, and that's beautiful. And we all have the same thing in common. We have the desire to stop using. And we want to live. You know, we're sick and tired of being sick and tired. We're sick and tired of killing ourselves. And that's enough. That's enough for me. Because I want to live another day. And I asked God this morning to let me live another clean and sober day as I watched the sun come up on the lake. that was my quiet time, and that was beautiful. Because I knew I was going to spend the rest of this weekend with a bunch of beautiful people. And you are beautiful people. And we can do it if we stick together. That's it. Thanks.
Paul, thanks a lot. I gotta admit my sponsor was right. That was a hell of a message, you know, it kind of gave me the goosebumps. We're gonna end this meeting with the Serenity Prayer and a group hug. And it says on the bottom, number 9 here, it says, group hug, Serenity Prayer, and Yay God.